I am not a Negro, black, colored, African American. I'm a Moorish American. Peace.
Yeah. Hey, 5 on the right, 2 on the left, man. You know what time it is. Yo. We just Moors in America, soar through the shores and endure criminal acts of war on our character. 7 years after the 4th score, no reward. Shout out to the most courageous, they was jumping over barriers. Where does that compare to you? We come from a place where you scared to visit our area. We come from a place where it's scary for good Samaritans. Heavy luggage we carrying, babies having babies. It's crazy being American. Praise the one and only Allah, there's no comparison. La ilaha illa Allah, body and buried gin. Laughing at you clowns like ha-ha, dodging the Nephilim. Conquer lower self with the high, follow your regimen. Way before they came we were gods and now we specimen. Tried to take the light from our eyes, thank God for Edison. Then they put the wool on our eyes, it's so embarrassing. Now we travel frequently, we should invest in Sheraton. All of us got gold on our bodies whenever we stepping in. Screaming Ramadan, Mubarak, training the flesh again. Wishing we could move as a unit just like the Mexicans. Dodging all the foods with estrogen, synthetic medicines. All sin isn't devilish. Sometimes the decisions that you make come for a better gift. Sometimes when you sin is to relate to all your brethren. Heavenly gates all in our face, we the champions. We live in the sky, we see the angels on the chariots. Waiting on the $20 bill, face a Harriet. I bet you I'ma carry it. I'm in love with music to the point I wanna marry it. But my love for people is greater, so I write messages. Largest spending power, but we still sit at a deficit. Living amongst prejudice, even at our residence. Moors in America, flourishing, excellent. Let's buy up some neighborhoods and groom our own president. Yeah. And I come to you today with all intentions of spreading love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
All right, Islam, Moors, Islam, peace and love to all the Moors out there. We're going to be doing a show today. We're going to be discussing the current state of hip-hop with our brother Nelson L. Nelson L just released the album. It's called Drew Ali, American Prophet. This is powerful, Moors. So we're going to be talking on this. And before we get started, though, you know how we do here at Moors in America. This video represents the views of the presenters and our guests based off of our own personal research and life and experience. So this is in no way is this content endorsed or an official representation of any other organization. This is coming off of our views and our life experience. And before we get started, we always give honors. I rise giving the highest praise to the Most High, our Father God Allah. We extend in honors to our divine prophet, Noble Drew Ali, for bringing us our divine creed and nationality so that we may learn to love instead of hate. We also extend in honors to the forerunner, our brother Marcus Mosiah Garvey, for preparing the way for the prophet. We extend in honors to all the Adep sheiks and all the faithful Moors out there that make up the grand body of the Moorish Divine and National Movement. And we also extend in honors to all of the faithful Muslims and all of you Moors here watching right now, because when man honors man, he also honors Allah. I also extend in honors to the brothers on this call right now. This is going to be a powerful interview. I know you Moors are going to enjoy this. Good afternoon, everybody. You're listening to the True and Living Life Bringer Moors in America. As always, I'm your brother, Lloyd Douglas L., also known as Sharif Ali. We are uncovering and bringing glorious light to all issues pertinent to the Moorish American paradigm, because that's what we do here on this podcast known as Moors in America. So I hope everybody's having a great evening. If you wouldn't mind, hit that share button. Hit the share button. Share this broadcast. Help to get this information out there, because especially what we're going to be discussing today, this is important, and nobody else is going to tell it like we can tell it. Nobody else is going to speak on how our music has been weaponized and used against us except for the Moors. And nobody's going to bring the solution except for the Moors. We didn't gather just to talk about the problems. The brother has a solution. So we're going to talk about solutions and how to do this. So I want you, everybody watching, to click like and to click that share button. And when we come back, we're going to expand further on this topic. So you don't want to miss it. Relax, grab your popcorn, share this. In other words, grab a friend. All right, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Islam, Moors, Islam. We're going to bring the brothers on here in a second. Before we get started, though, I just wanted to speak really briefly on this topic. A lot of us don't really put things in a proper perspective. Like with the music that plays on the airwaves, we don't realize how much power we have, specifically talking about us Asiatics. You know, we have influence over the entire world, whether we realize it or not. And even in our fallen state, we still have influence. People all over the world still look to us and emulate us. All right. And so this is very important. And I'm glad the brothers on here. I really appreciate the work that these brothers are putting in. I appreciate the album, everything that the brothers doing. If you've seen, there's a video on this channel. The link is in the description. Go and watch it after you watch this. It's basically speaking on the Savage program. There's a program out there, people. Now, the prophet brought us directions, brought us divine instructions. We are to subdue the lower self, right? We're to subdue the lower self. So it's not a coincidence that there's a program right now that's trying to keep us stuck in the lower self, trying to keep our vibratory rate, our vibrations low, stuck in that savage mind state, in the carnal mind. Okay. And so these images are up there. They're not, to knock any of these artists or anyone that's putting that type of music out. But we have to realize that it's a real program. It's a real program. And, something has to be done to combat this, or not just to combat it, but something else has to be done to truly represent who we are as Moorish Americans. Because if we're not actively doing it, somebody else is going to fill that void, and they're going to put out whatever fits the program that they want to do. Okay. And in that, in alignment with that, I want to go ahead and bring the brother Nelson L and the brother Landrum L on. Landrum Bay. Okay. Apologize for that. Islam.
No problem, Moab.
Islam. How you more doing?
Islam. All day, Drew Ali way.
That's right. That's right. And I want to say something real quick. Now it's a pleasure to have you both on. I want everybody to check this out. Here we go. Check that out. The American Prophet, and this is from the brother Nelson L. He just put this album out, and it's powerful. It's powerful. Just the imagery on there alone is powerful. All right. Now, if you could, for a minute, just let us know a little bit about you and where you Moors are coming from. Where are you located?
Islam. Let me make sure that we don't talk over one another.
Islam.
First and foremost, we rise in infinite thought and wisdom, giving the most high praise to Allah, Father of the universe, the author, the governor, the creator. We give honors to Allah's prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. We want to also reiterate and give honors to everything that you've mentioned in the opening of the show. We appreciate you. Thank you for allowing us an opportunity to be on your platform so we can break this down and discuss the current state of consciousness in hip hop. I am Brother R. Nelson L. Some call me the artist, Nelson L. And yeah, we here now. That's the tag. That's the hashtag. We here now. And I don't think there could be any truer words spoken. So let me just open up by saying all praise to Allah, honors to yourself, honors to the program. I see you, my brother LB, on his way to Philadelphia, so he can represent for the Moors at Carpenter's Hall. And that's all I want to say. Then we're going to break this down. And I'll pass the microphone, if you will, to the brother Landrum Bay.
All right, Islam.
He's on the road. He may be coming in and out of some spots. So, brother, it's
okay. Yeah, it looks like his
Daniel Hill, right?
Yeah, looks like he's frozen. Yeah,
he may freeze. We can rock out, you and I.
All right,
get it done. I appreciate the brother Momo for facilitating the interview and getting you and I connected. I appreciate you purchasing a copy of that project.
Oh, for sure.
So, yeah, we here now, and I'm ready to get into it. Absolutely.
All right, Islam. So, definitely wanted to support and to, to actually get a physical copy of that in my hands. I think, just after listening and checking this out, just off the imagery alone, it's powerful to see a brother in this position, representing properly, proper attire, with the national headdress. Is powerful, but the music is on point. It's on point, brother. You definitely represent it, and I appreciate that. And if it's okay with you, I'd like to play just a few snippets, just a few clips from some of your music.
Absolutely.
All right, just so the people can see what the brother's working with. Islam. Let's go ahead and do that. All right.
Yeah. All praise due to Allah, and honors to the last prophet in these days and times. That's Drew Ali. 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 It ain't no question where these lessons are coming from. In North Mex, I'm still flexing, dancing to the drums. They going dumb like, bruh, we ain't think you come from out of heaven, throw up the 7, sliding through the slums. Go 101 with my
Islam, brother. That's we have a few more clips to play, but just off that alone, like my wife's in the background dancing, this it's on point. The music is on point, and then I think you bring in light to someone who's usually hidden, who's usually never spoken of, never. Maybe Nas, said a little something about Drew Ali in one song, but never really mentioned and put out there, for the people to hear and to learn about, right? So I really want to give you props for that, brother, and I appreciate you doing that. And then, like I said, the song is lit. What inspired you though to put that together?
Islam. Some of the feed was a little choppy, but I think I heard a little bit. Couple things I wanted to address from what I did here. and I guess your question was what inspired me. More science. That's kind of what inspired me. But going through some just going through some of the walks of life. As you mature and grow and develop and unfold, you have different experiences. And I came to a point in my life where I realized, man, I got this talent, this Allah given talent, because I've been rapping for a number of years, and the light came on. Just that it's time to put the prophet first. The light came on. The timing was right. I feel like the game, if you will, kind of have come full circle to now. It's people are looking for consciousness in the music. They're looking for bars that they can use and apply. I want to say this before I get too far off of this thought. I want to give a shout out and a big Islam and high honors to my team. My business partner, my brother T. Watson Hill, he said, Mo, we're going to bring the Prophet Noble Drew Ali to the people in a way that it has never been done before. Nobody's going to attack this the way we are. I'm talking about lyrically. I'm talking about with the beats that are compatible with anything that if you turn on Drake, you turn on Donda, you might as well turn on Drew Ali, American Prophet. It's right there with it. Nobody's out rapping us. Nobody's spit more metaphors, more triple entendres, more bars. None of that's happening. So we here now. And it's inspired by the times. There's a time for everything. And as we enter into new ages, obviously as Moors, we're studied, we're learned, or at least it's been given to us in our instructions to cultivate our mind with knowledge. And so as we're coming into this new era of time, it's just time for the next level of hip hop to emerge. And this is what it is. It's consciousness in the music.
Islam. So I'm definitely in alignment with what you're saying. Just to address something that was said in the chat, we need an anthem. We need something that addresses going through. There's a people over the nation and even countries such as Trinidad, for example, and other countries as well across the Atlantic. Asiatics are starting to wake up. They're starting to realize they're of Moorish descent, and they're looking for it. And if we were doing something negative, it would be getting coverage on 2020. Absolutely. 2020 or Dateline did a special a few years ago about how the so-called black woman couldn't find a man. They did that to take shots at us. But we have a phenomenon occurring, where we're coming back into our own. We're starting to clean ourselves up. We're picking ourselves up. We're being even better. And it's not being covered. So we're the only ones that are going to come at it. Moors are the only ones that are going to give light to this. And so I appreciate you for bringing light to it and then using your talent to bring light to it. How long have you been rapping, brother?
Oh, more. Let me just say this, because you're sparking all kind of ethers as you're talking. I'm having all these thoughts, and I just wanted to add value to something that I just heard you say. We're waking up all over, and I think it's only right that with us waking up, we be the ones to tell our story. One thing that I often share with a lot of young Moors, young people in general, no matter nationality, if you are going to put your posterity, your next generation, in the best position to maximize their experience, then we have to be able to control our narrative. We have to be able to tell the story. So we can't expect for anybody else to tell our story. We can't look or wait for somebody else to tell our story. We have to be the ones that demonstrate that to our seeds, to the young life. And that's really what this music does. We put in the message in the music. I've been rapping before the age of 12 years old. I often say that I was born with hip hop. The same year that hip hop was born and introduced to the world, I was born and introduced to the world physically. As a spirit, I've always been here, but I came into the manifestation in the year of 1973. And I always say there's something very special about that 7, and there's something very special about that 3. So if you know a brother born in 1973 and he had a love or has a love, passion for hip hop, then you know somebody who was raised by the culture, raised by hip hop, raised by the music, been here through every stage, through the conscious stage, so to speak, when we had artists like Poor Righteous Teachers, Divine Styler, Pasta News, Plug One, Plug Two for De La Soul. You know, a lot of these older groups, Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, of course, you know, KRS-One, but a lot of the young life today have not experienced a time when there was some form of consciousness in the music. I was watching an interview the other day with Mike Tyson talking to Carl Kanai, and they were talking about being young, growing up in Brooklyn, New York, and how they couldn't come outside unless they knew what the mathematics was, because they were influenced by the 5% nation, which we understand where they came from. And so at one point in time, there was some knowledge of self in the music. And as it evolved and changed, we lost that. Well, it's come full circle now. We're here now, and we're not going nowhere. This is the final frontier.
All right, Islam, man, that's beautiful. And definitely just to go back to what you said, nobody else is going to tell the story. And if they do, they're not going to do it properly, right? They're going to give us something that's not truly representative. This, you know, maybe throwing shade or twisting, distorting things. So, you know, I really appreciate it. And if you don't mind, I would like to play another clip just to let everybody see something else, you know, from your body of work. And want to come right back to this.
New era time. It's so divine, I put my life on the line. Allah made me so I'm built for the grind. New era time. The truth defined the 7 chakra in line. I feel we finally coming out of a bind. New era time. A mastermind take you up on the climb. You know the science, see the symbols and signs. New era time. It's all sublime, put it all in my rhymes. And if you seeking, then I know you gon' find. New era time. It's so divine, I put my life on the line. Allah made me so I'm built for the grind. New era time. The truth defined the 7 chakra in line. I feel we finally coming out of a bind. New era time.
All right. If we could, I want to pull that back up really.
New era time.
Okay, I wanted to pause it, but we can't. But you know, I think there had to be a conscious decision.
How about this, Muslim?
Islam.
How about this right here? I'm giving praise to Allah. It's like they caught us slipping, blowing la la. It's like our mind was somewhere lost in the stars. I'm giving praise to Allah. I had to pause. I was way out of law. Till Juwali said thought was the cause, was in the water with jaws. And megalodons lived the life of a Pisces 12th sign. About time we got them burning they Nike's young psyche. Or new psyche, young hyphy life be asking me questions for directions. And how I'm manifesting blessings on blessings. Dope sessions, ain't no objections when I step in the booth. Hey, I'm just hyped up on how we going, you know. It's just a whole new era of time. I'm excited about it. So when it didn't play, I just wanted to give them some bars so they could hear a little bit of it.
For sure, boy. Yo, look, I'm excited too more. And I'm saying like it had to be a conscious decision, you know, to represent properly. Like, you know, the way that you dress, you have on a suit, like that's just internationally known. If you have a suit on, people assume you handling business or that you know, you're in a position of power. So could you speak on that if you know, briefly?
Absolutely. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. My dad told me, my earthly pops, he says, son, a suit is the international standard of business. This is, and so we on the scene, we mean business. This is not a game. And it's not a hoax or anything like that. It's not a character or anything. This is who I am. And as we get into the conversation about consciousness and hip hop, you know, we're going to understand that hip hop as an entity has to mature and grow just like anything else does. You know, through our instructions, we know all things tend upwards to perfection. So just like anything else, if it doesn't grow, if it doesn't evolve, then you would, you know, maybe think that there's something wrong with that thing. And so just like with hip hop, it has to grow, it has to evolve, mature. And this is the state of where it is now. Just like the Moors brought Europe out of the dark ages, we're going to bring hip hop out the dark ages.
All right, Islam, man. And definitely just to rewind a little bit back to what you were saying about hip hop maturing and growing, we see, you know, as far as hip hop artists that are coming out now and over the last 20 years, everybody's little this and that, or baby, or, you know, right, I'm not knocking anyone in particular, but it's like there's a push to not want to grow up, kind of like Peter Pan, to keep us stunted. right? To keep us stuck at a level.
That's right.
Nobody wants to become a man or become a woman. Everybody wants to be, you know, young and to still be a juvenile, right? And these are actually people's names, like literally.
Absolutely. You know, and prior to that, you know, we picked other names, you know, not to knock anybody, but maybe street legends or people who were doing lower self activity. So let's say take Curtis Jackson, he picks 50 Cent. You know, I idolized this guy. 50 Cent was in the streets. He was doing this. He was robbing people. He was, you know, doing these things. Or maybe I want to pick an artist. I want to name myself as an artist after an Italian person. I'm OG Capone. You know, I don't know, whoever you want to be. And if you had an opportunity to be whoever you want to be, because with this, you know, we can do that. Why wouldn't you want to be the Most High? Why wouldn't you want to be, you know, something that is associated with Allah, something associated with a God, or something associated with a king, or something, you know, on high. You know, so for a long time we picked gangster names. I'm gangster this, I'm Steve Murder, I'm Killer this, you know, what have you. Now we went into the young life. We don't want to grow up, and we're just at a stage now. This is the age of Aquarius. You know, we've entered into a whole nother age touch of time, if you will. And if you're still talking about what we was talking about 25 years ago, then there's probably something wrong. You know, Eazy-E and NWA. I remember a line when I was young. You know, Eazy-E, he said, he shot, pow, pow, I shot. Brrr. As you can see how cold, you know, but if you're still talking about that, that was 30 years ago. We're talking about being gangster in the street 30 years ago. So if you're still talking about that, then, you know, there's a question with your evolution that we need to discuss. And we need to figure out, why are you still trying to demonstrate a measure that you was talking about 30 years ago and claiming that you're an artist? Now, when we talk about artists, and if I'm rambling or going too long, you can just, you know, I tend to do a lot of moving. How it's like this. If you and we got to realize that this thing called hip hop, this rap thing is art, first of all, right? So if someone paints a picture of the Mona Lisa, and then I paint that same picture, then you paint the picture, then a million other brothers paint the same picture. At what point does that picture stop being art and just simply become a copycat? My whole science is, if you're in the game and you're not in the game to change the game, then you're just a copycat. When Wilt Chamberlain started playing basketball, he changed the game. They had to recreate the rules, had to change certain things, because that's the way he was doing it was so elevated over how it had been done before. He changed the game. When you read about certain classical periods in art, when you talk about Van Goghs and certain artists, the way they were painting pictures, they weren't painting pictures that way prior to those artists coming on the scene. And so they changed the landscape, they changed the game by what they were doing. So if you hear talking about the same thing that we've been talking about, then you're a facsimile of the real thing. Let me just give you a couple more examples, and I'll share the microphone. So, for example, if the only thing you can rap about is drugs, for example, that's your game, I want you to know that you are not impressing anyone right now. You got 100 P's, 100 keys, whatever it is. Guess what? Marijuana is legal in just about every state. I mean, there's a few states where it's not legal, but big deal. What you like, opioids? Guess what? All those pills are legal. They sell them at Walmart, CVS Pharmacy, Walgreens. You can get a prescription. What else do you like to do? You like lean? You like to pour foe in your 2-liter? Well, that's Tussin. My grandma has a prescription for Tussin, and you can go get that and just pour that. You're buying all this stuff from, you are not the man when it comes to drugs. You're just simply not. Oh, you got some other drugs. You like the harder stuff. Don't you realize there's a pharmaceutical equivalent to every single street drug that's on the market? You like heroin, for example? Okay, great. How about there's something called Oxycontin? or oxycodone that you can do the same type of leaning with. Someone else is taking over that market, young rapper. You might want to look at some other things. What else do you like? You like guns? You like to rap about your Draco? You know, I know that's a big thing when it comes to rap. Do you know that there are five guns for every American in the continental United States of America? There are approximately 350 million Americans. So take that times 5, and you'll know about how many guns are in America. When you telling me you have a gun is nothing, it means nothing. Maybe when nobody else had a gun, if you had a gun, that would be something to really, really rap about. But everybody got a gun. There's a 14-year-old kid in Baltimore that got the same gun that you're rapping about. So I would suggest maybe you could include that if you like, but you might want to find a different lane if the only thing you can rap about is guns. What about sex? You want to talk about sex all day? How many women, how many bodies you got, how many different things you're able to do because you are who you are? Well, guess what? That's commonplace these days. I can go on Instagram if I want to see somebody twerking. They got any kind of media social platform out there. If you want to find what you're looking for, it's there. Nobody is private with their sexuality anymore. Women are dating women, men dating men. You could probably, some guys got 3, 4 wives. Another brother might have 2 wives. One guy's got old traditional. You talking about your sexual exploits. Yeah, I understand you are young and handsome and all that stuff, but that's not impressing me no more. That's not impressing the world. It's too much of it already. You got green hair, purple hair, yellow hair. You weigh 300 pounds. Are you real skinny? You old? You young? That's the reason why I don't mind saying my age, because at this point in time, it does not matter. The only thing that matters right now is, are you relevant? What are you talking about? What kind of message are you coming with? If it's the same old thing, unfortunately, you're just a facsimile, a cheap imitation, a copycat of somebody else doing the same thing that you're trying to do now and get famous. You see somebody else do it, so you want to do it. We here now, family. We finna shed some light in the dark. The game is maturing, and I'll pause for the cause because I got a whole lot more. I'm just overflowing. My cup overflowing.
Islam, man, you were definitely on point. I agree with everything you said. I don't know why StreamYard just froze up, but you were on a roll, brother. I mean, definitely with everything. The stuff, just to sum up what you were saying, it's played out. It's played out. And it's obvious that anyone who's pushing these types of agendas is compromised, and it's not saying it to knock any artist or anyone in particular. It's just that, people are compromised if they're pushing that same tired, played out message. It's been going on for a long now. So definitely it's time for the new. And I'm so happy to see Moors doing it and doing it proper. I mean, this you got some heat on that CD, and definitely that's something that I can see the streets banging, and definitely we have to help push this out. That's why I wanted to do this. I want all the Moors watching this to make sure you go in the description. The links are in there where you can go get the CD or you can go get the stream, and also go over to the brother's YouTube too and make sure you subscribe. Everybody click like and share. But if you could just speak a little bit more to that, as far as to what differences people will see with the music that you're putting out versus what we're hearing, the old same old.
Islam. Well, I think once you listen to it, and a lot of people listen to the whole thing and they call me back, and at the end of it, they say, man, I didn't even realize you didn't even say one cuss word the whole entire album. You got 21 tracks without a single cuss word. I think that's something special in hip hop right now. So obviously they understand that we have to make up for not cussing with lyrical content, with dope creative concepts. and just being creative in general. So when I say I'm not promoting no violence, I'm not shooting no guns, I'm not killing my sister, I'm not disrespecting my brother, I'm not cursing. So with none of that on there, I'm sure most people will say, well, what in the world does the music sound like? Because he ain't doing nothing that nobody is doing right now.
Yeah,
But
they
you
gonna
gotta
say,
understand,
what you talking
shout out
about?
to my producer Tree on the slap.
Yeah.
Tree rocked the beats. He gave the soundtrack. You know, I always say Tree on the slap, God on the rap. And so yeah, we just went in and really, to be very honest with you, my brother, the album was speaking to Moorish Americans, speaking to the Moors, because I want to energize us so then we can start doing our part in the fallen humanity. I also know if I energize the Moors is everywhere. We in the streets, we're in the county jails, we're in the prisons, we're everywhere. So if I can get our attention and shine that light, then I think I can give us something, you know, to be proud of, something to rally behind. Like you said, almost an anthem to where the Moors can rally behind it. The Moors can have something to be proud about. I know a lot of sisters, they say, you know, when we get in the car, we go driving, it's so good to finally have something that I can play with all the children in the car. Not that it's watered down or bubble gum, but it's something that they like because it's comparable, it's current, it's comparable to anything out there. Like I said, you know, I put this project up next to Certified Lover Boy, Donda, whatever else is out there. I put this project right next to it. And I know it is as far as the beat production, as far as the lyrics, as far as it being recorded, mixed, mastered, all that is gonna it's not gonna be no fall off when you listen to this and you turn around and listen to Kendrick Lamar's new project. So I know that this is where we going with it. And so I just wanted to make sure that I put the prophet out front. I demonstrated a lot of more signs. Prophet Noble Drew Ali said every word he spoke was spirit. So I wanted to put a whole lot of prophet in it. I want to put quotes in there. You hear me saying stuff like, "You see the prophet put your oar in the water." You know, a lot of those kind of older witticism and slangs that Moors know about. Go 101. You know, just references. Even though we know what it is, there's also that hip hop element that I wanted to incorporate in the project. So you're going to hear certain things that the streets are familiar with. It's just given to you through the lens of a Moorish American and how we see it. So it's just it's a lot of really good music on there. I encourage everybody to check it out. And I'm almost willing to say, if you're a Moorish American and you love Prophet Noble Drew Ali and you're following him to a destination that is not unknown or uncertain, you will enjoy this project. If you don't enjoy it, I'm sure one of your nephews or your nieces, somebody will enjoy this project. Rap is the #1 genre of music on the planet.
Yep.
The #1, like the Moore said earlier, we don't realize how much power and influence that we have. We sell breakfast cereal, we sell cheeseburgers, hamburgers, cars, clothes, all of that stuff. When you listen and watch what's going on any reality TV show, there's rap in the background, there's a hip hop element to it. Everything that's moving out there, with the exception of very few things, are influenced by hip hop, by this culture. So if we are the ones who created the culture, we're the ones who run the culture, then we have to be the ones to tell the story. Hold on 1 second.
All right. So one thing that I want to say, just to speak on briefly, right? I used to live overseas, right? I lived in South America for about 5 years with my family. And just saying, we witnessed like the influence that our people, specifically us Asiatics in North America, have on the world. We were living there from like 2008 to up to 2012, and we saw that they were just starting to get hit with the crack epidemic. Like they didn't have the problems and stuff that we had in our communities in the 80s, you know.
Right.
But they listen to the music, even though they don't understand the lyrics, they still see the visuals, they see the imagery, they see the things that we try to make seem cool. And like, you know, the drug use, all of these things, people pick up on that stuff, man. The way that we dress, all of that. And so even if it's negative, people all over the world emulate it, even people who don't look like us. So it's like we really have influence. And so obviously we have influence on our people here, but we even impact people on the other side of the world who don't understand, what we're saying. They still emulate. All right. And so, it's powerful to see a brother putting that imagery out. I'm not knocking anyone in particular, but I've, seen other Moors try to make music, and they consciously know that they're Moors, but they're still towing the line. It's like they're not going all the way out, putting the suit on, standing up, and representing properly and actually speaking on the prophet. Because you have to admit, everybody's scared to speak on the prophet. We're the only ones that's going to do it.
This takes courage. It takes courage to put this figure one on. It takes courage to stand up and say that I am a Moorish American. It takes courage. You don't think Jay-Z knows who Prophet Noble Drew Ali is? You are moving around in circles inside of New York City wearing a large 7 on your chain. I believe the brother has heard of Prophet Noble Drew Ali before. We know Nas has heard of Prophet Noble Drew Ali before. We know Ghostface Killer has heard of Prophet Noble Drew Ali before. We know Rick Ross has mentioned Prophet Noble Drew Ali in his lyrics. We know that Meek Mills understands who Prophet Noble Drew Ali is, but it takes courage for the truth of who we are. And see, when we talk about the copycat, the facsimile, the imitation, nobody's doing this, so nobody is trying to imitate it, right? Now watch after we be on the scene for a while. Watch when we take our rightful place at the table in hip hop, what happens? See, men need a pattern for their life.
Yeah.
They love to follow and not to lead. This takes courage to get out here. I'm just praise Allah. I'm so happy and full of joy that Allah allow me to be the one to step out with the figure one on and represent for Ali, represent for MSTA. And in doing so, this is going to bring us together. Like a lot of other organizations, we were splintered off after the prophet changed planes into several different bodies and grand bodies and organizations. But we all listen to music. Everybody going to listen to music. So this will bring us together. This is the reason why my brother said we're going to bring this representation to the people, to the marketplace, in representing of the prophet in a way that has never been done before, because a lot of rappers, and I've mentioned some names, have mentioned Prophet Noble Drew Ali. It's a great punchline. The prophet is a great tagline when you rapping and you want to hit somebody with something and you want to, give
say something slick,
sense that you have some knowledge and you drop that in your bar, you're gonna get a couple but who's really gonna come on out and say, okay, I have a line. I said something to the effect, I'll show you the cycle ages. I'll let you look in the faces. I'll walk you right through the pages. We're going to walk through the pages with this. Pick a chapter, any chapter. We're going to really break this down because we've come full circle now. It's our time now. We're back to that old time religion. Rap is a vehicle as well. I want to say that, I gave an analogy of an artist painting a picture, but I also want to say, for those who don't understand painting, we all understand what a Lyft is or an Uber or what a taxi is. Hip hop, rap, this thing is like a vehicle. Just like you can read a book and it can take you from the hood to wherever whatever the book is about. You can mentally be transmuted to that place, if you will. Well, that's what rap does. That's what hip hop does. It takes you from your situation. There was just a study that was put out by Cambridge University saying how hip hop is now therapy. Rap lyrics can be used as mental health therapy for depression and people wanting to commit suicide. They were using the song Rags to Riches as an example and say what happens to us internally with our vibration when we hear positive, uplifting music that has uplifting lyrics. It makes us want to strive and believe that we can go from rags to riches. It gives us an imagination. It gives us hope. So we know that there's power inside of this music. And I started off giving an analogy of a Uber or a Lyft taxi or car that you pay for. Imagine yourself paying for an Uber that could only take you to the hood. It can't take you nowhere else. Well, that's cool sometimes, but eventually you're going to say, hey, I need to go to the airport. Hey, can you take me to the plaza? Hey, what about taking me out there where those big mansions are out up on the hill? Can you take me anywhere but the hood? And if you are an artist and that's the only place you can take your artists or take your passengers, then you're limiting yourself. You're limiting your finances. You're limiting your money. You're putting a cap on your no cap. I can talk about all that stuff, but I can also let's talk about some metaphysics. Let's talk about Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius. Let's talk about some of that stuff. I can talk about what you're talking about, but can you demonstrate on the level that I can demonstrate on? Yeah. Can't do that. A lot of times it's not your fault. It's just that you're 18 years old. You're 20 years old. And the thing about this music, and why nobody will ever be better than me when it comes to demonstrating this more science, is because we know we have to be seasoned with the maxims of truth. And when I use seasoning, I let that marinate. I let it soak in. I let it get into every part. And then we're able to taste that flavor. You can't be no little child just picked up the Holy Quran or the Moorish Temple of America and think that you're going to demonstrate the deepest measure that you can come with. We all have to take time. It takes time to develop and unfold these lessons. You have to live. You have to experience things, just like with the music. Rap should be the culmination of your experiences, things that you've lived, or things that people close to you have lived and you've witnessed. And you are reporting the news or telling the story about things that go on in your neighborhood or in your area. You can't tell me a story about growing up in the Marcy Projects if you're from Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska. It's the same thing with this. And so, as we know, we have to go through all perfected man must pass through all the walks of life. When we get that with this music and incorporate it and tie this more science in it, it just takes us to another level. When I say nobody can be greater than me, I don't mean that there are people that are not as lyrically talented as I am. I'm just talking about content. And I'm talking about why we are doing it. I'm doing it for my people. I'm doing it for my nation. I'm doing it for the uplifting of fallen humanity. I know a rising tide lifts all boats. I'm not doing it so I can get me a new Learjet like Creflo Dollar, or maybe get a couple B's, and that's another B. Can't forget about the other B. I like all of that, but I know collectively we got $2.5 trillion that comes through our hands. I'm looking at us as nation money. I'm not looking at no little money.
That's right. Islam.
So I apologize again because I get so I'm so excited about where we are with this thing, and I know how big it is that sometimes I get going on you, Ill.
Yes, I'm right there with you, brother. So I mean, I'm definitely feel where you're coming from. I appreciate you for speaking on that, and I think everybody listening can understand that, and I think also we can see why, maybe the I guess the industry, with the resources, they would be more than willing to put it behind someone who's young, maybe coming from impoverished situations, to just put a little money in their hands and say, well, this is what you're going to rap about. They have certain, parameters of what they're going to stick to. And I mean, that's what we see, but that's not where it's going, because as you said, there's a consciousness awakening, and it's not just limited to us. It's occurring all over the world. So whether people know it or not, everyone's got their eyes on us. They might not all be looking at us all the time to see what we're going to do, but they're paying attention.
Absolutely.
And nobody else is going to do it but us. Once again, I'm glad that you put this project together. If you don't mind, I'd like to play another clip. I saw somebody in here, Brother Davis L, just asked about the music. We have another clip too. Want to go ahead and play that video.
Wow.
All right, Islam. All right, yeah, we're about to play a clip from Chosen.
Yeah, they say they want this more science, so I'ma give it to them. Islamism, no illusions when I'm interviewing. Know what I'm doing, no confusion, I ain't into crooning. I'm in the moving units, out here starting revolutions. In love with shooters, making masterminds out the goonies. I got them booming out here, zooming on the plane of soul. I tell them take me to the grove, they like Islam mode. I'm letting them know this not a show, this all systems go. It's two cells, one man, both high and low. I'm so spiritual, the indigos feel the vibe. I'm so lyrical, a miracle that I survive. Extend my 5 to the 4, I can see him coming. Plus my angel got the angle with the engine running. It's all justice, freedom, peace, truth, and love.
Islam. So yeah, for anyone that just recently joined, check out the brother's music. The information's in the description. You can go, you can get a physical copy, you can get the stream. The links are all in there. I mean, I'm thinking it. Yeah. Islam, brother David Sell, just put the flames in there. I mean, this is something every Moor, at least all the Moors watching this should be banging at. I'm for real. I'm saying that the Moors need to go on and get behind this and support and share, get this information out there, because the music is banging and he's representing properly, you know. So we definitely appreciate that. You know, I'd really just like to open the floor up to you though. And just if there's anything else that you would like to speak about your project, anything else that you have going on in your area. I believe you're with Temple 65, right? In St. Louis.
Absolutely.
Islam. So yeah, anything with your temple, business wise, and with the music you have going on, just go ahead and let the family know about that, brother.
Islam. So absolutely. So we got a number of things going on. Before I get going, I do want to give a shout out to Temple 65 and the leadership, my GS brother Fielder Bay, in Kansas City, Kansas. I think there was we had put on there was maybe a little typo, said in St. Louis, Missouri. So we're in Kansas City, Kansas. I'm from Kansas. Now, shout out to the temples in St. Louis, Temple number 75 and Temple number 5 in St. Louis, Missouri. We're Temple number 75, Branch Temple number 65, rather, in KCK. So shout out to all the members and the leadership at Branch Temple number 65, Kansas City, Kansas. Also, I got a clothing line out. The clothing line is called Conscious Community. And the reason why we went with that, obviously, we always think in Moorish first and foremost. However, the mission is in the uplifting of fallen humanity. And we know that nobody has a monopoly on the truth. There's truth in everything. And I call that the conscious community. So if you subscribe to a different doctrine than I do, I'm not knocking you for that. If you understand it's better to love instead of hate, you understand that it's better for us to come together than to be divided. If you're just conscious of yourself, that you are something special and direct from the source, then you're part of that community. So that doesn't exclude anybody. So Conscious Community is the clothing line. If you see that, have an opportunity. Momo's pushing that, so I want to shout out Momo on my team and Sister Leslie Powell Bay, or El Powell Bay, and a lot of brothers are helping me out on that clothing tip. Besides the Conscious Community clothing line, I'm also an author. I wrote a book entitled The Introduction to the Truth of Life. The book is available on Amazon, so you can just Google Nelson Ill, The Introduction to the Truth of Life. And in this book, I break down the 7 fundamental principles of the universe: consciousness, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender. Not only do I have a clothing line and I am an author, I also am the founder of the Kansas Underground Railroad Historical Society, which is a nonprofit organization designed to shine a light on the historical significance that Kansas played in the entire nation being a free nation. I don't know if a lot of us know that the Civil War started in Kansas. This place where I'm from was called Bleeding Kansas at one time. And if anybody is familiar with the Kansas-Missouri border war, you'll know that that was as a result of Missouri being a slave state, and Kansas, and was Kansas going to come into the Union as a slave state or a free state? Whichever way it came in, and we all know how that electoral college works, it would have tipped the scale of the electoral college, which would have made us either be a totally free nation or a totally slave nation. So a lot of states owe a debt of gratitude to the state of Kansas for coming in as a free state. So I just wanted to shine some light on that, because I believe that if we understand where we went into physical bondage, we need to understand where we came out of physical bondage. And that was uh, during the time of 1865. During that time, we say 1779 to the year of 1865, during the time of slavery. But even before the Civil War started, um, Kansas was battling. If you go back and look at some of the stories about abolitionists, you look at the town of Lawrence, Kansas, being burned down to the ground twice by the Quantrell Raiders. You look at the Jayhawkers, and you understand, when you see the University of Kansas Jayhawks, understand what a Jayhawker really was. And it's very deep. So we're also involved in history. I love history. I'm somewhat of a historian. So we have the Kansas Underground Railroad Historical Society. We have the clothing line Conscious Community. We also have the book, The Introduction to the Truth of Life. And then we get to this music thing. So, and then you've heard the music, and we encourage everybody to get out there with and check us out. And then shout out to the other Moorish American artists that are out there. My brother G. Von Ill has a conscious soul movement out of Detroit going. Sister Noel Ill out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The sisters dropping music. My brother Bill and Ill up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. When I tell you that the music is bringing us together, Moors is calling me from all over. I'm getting calls from Morocco about, can we collaborate with you? Can we get on a track with you? So it's blowing up. It's blowing up, and we're just ecstatic and elated that we here now, because we going up and we not coming back down.
All right, Islam. You know what? If you could send me some of those links later, we could put them in the description too. But once again, just for everybody watching, check out the brother's music. The information is in the chat. All right. And definitely I'm showing the album cover again, but definitely this is something every more needs to be banging. You heard some of the music, you heard some of the brothers' music. I mean, you could go toe to toe with anybody's album that's out right now, and the brother's doing it. He's doing it properly. I mean,
and let me just say this as well. This is we don't got no big record label behind us. This is not Sony or Def Jam, or nobody's Interscope is not behind this. We are 100% upright, independent, and fearless. We paying for all the studio time. We got to pay for these videos to get made. We got to put in the work to make this happen. So when we say when we encourage our people to support us, we encourage you to download the album or buy a T-shirt. We appreciate that, because that's the only way that we're getting this done. The only way we're making this happen is by you guys, the Moors and well-wishers, sympathizers, and other people that just appreciate good art, good music. We appreciate you for supporting this. So I just want to say thank you for that, because this stuff, it ain't cheap. I just say it like that, just trying to be as hip hop I can be, and it's not cheap. And so we need the support of our family, our brothers and sisters, and those who have signed up to go this way. When we talk about being a part and parcel of all uplifting acts, this is our way of uplifting fallen humanity by putting out this music. This is my way of words, acts, and deeds all being in line. Brothers can talk, I'm this, I'm that, but are you going to put your money where your mouth is? Are you going to put your life on the line because of what you believe in? So that's where we are with this thing. We here now. I want to tell you a story, if I can, if I may. Is that all right?
Oh, pardon me, Islam, brother.
So on the project, there's a song. The song is called Prestige. And one of the lines says, they want to hate me, but the devil made God famous. And I want to tell this story because as I write my raps, I actually do have meaning and there's some deeper stuff behind that. But I wanted to share this because it kind of shines a light on where we are with this. I apologize, my phone is moving around because it's dying. And so I had to put it on the charger, so I was carrying it in my hand. Now I won't move like that. So I wanted to share this story. They want to hate me, but the devil made God famous. I want us to think back to when hip hop first came on the scene, back when rap first started. And I'm not going to name all the names who were involved with it because I don't want to leave anybody out. It was in the park, it was fun, it was creative, and it basically was as a result of you better go outside and find something to do. No, we didn't have nothing to do, so we created this culture. We created this thing called hip hop. Brothers went out, somebody found a piece of linoleum, another brother found maybe a big old piece of cardboard or something, and all of a sudden we break dancing, spinning on our back. We're doing everything, right? And the devil sees this. Now, when I say the devil, I don't want anybody to get misconstrued and say, oh, Nelson Hill's talking about Europeans or woo woo woo. I'm talking about the devil is anything that is in opposition to God. That's who I'm talking about. Anything that is in opposition to God can be considered a devil. The creator is considered God. The creator as well as the creation. So we created this culture, and the culture became God. What do you mean, Nelson Hill? The culture is God. The culture, you live for the culture, you die for the culture. The reason why your grandmother wore that big old bonnet hat to church every Sunday was for the culture. The reason why your pants sag for the culture. The reason why you wear your hair that way, the reason why you dance that way, the reason why you took the shoelaces out of your shoestrings, the culture. The reason why you're willing to take penitentiary chances, go to prison, go to jail. See, they have politics, they have the system, the political system, they have other things, but none of those things trump the culture. Because people were willing to take chances with their life to be culturally correct. That's why that guy robbed that other guy for his tennis shoes, or took that starter jacket back in the day, or did whatever they did. Got to wear that much jewelry. Why are you wearing all that drip? Culture. So the culture is God. The devil seen this, and the devil said, yo, man, if I get my hands on that, I can sell anything. I can make billions and billions of dollars. I can sell t-shirts, hats, tennis shoes, basketball gear, football gear. I can sell cars. I can sell Fruity Pebbles. Hip hop music sells everything. Our culture sells everything. So who controls the culture controls the market. Well, not only I'm being in the speaking in the person of the devil, not only can I sell anything I want and get paid, but I also get to push and promote my agenda. This should tell you who is running the rap game, because we know what the agenda of the lower self is: hatred, slander, lewdness, murders, theft, and everything that harms. Think about your favorite music. Think about what's in it. Hatred, slander, murders, lewdness, theft, and everything that harms. So that should tell you who's running the culture. The lower self, the devil. That's what the lower self is sometimes called, the devil. He's seen that. Now here's what the greatness of Allah. Here's what makes me get excited. See, the big Quran says where the devil is planning, Allah's behind him planning, right behind the devil, right? So when these brothers first came out with this hip hop music, which drives our culture, we didn't have the resources to make it a global phenomenon. We didn't have the networking skills to make hip hop big in China, in Japan. We didn't have the financial resources for global distribution. We didn't have the engineering know-how of mass production to produce the product to sell on the marketplace. We just knew we was having fun. So the devil took it to China. I got a call from a friend of mine over in Tokyo, Japan, over the summer. Brother, shoot too tight. Said, Nelson Hill, I need all your music from the 90s. Because I got music from the 90s. I said, why you want that? He said, that was the golden era or golden age of hip hop. We had a golden age. The science is this. They took us to China. They took us to Europe. They took us to Japan. They took us to Australia. They took us to Canada. All in the guise of getting rich and promoting their agenda. And they did that. The blessing is now I'm famous in China. I'm famous. We're famous in Japan. Hip hop is famous in Australia now. We're famous in Canada. We're famous all over Europe, in the UK, in London, in Paris, France. All we have to do now is stand up. So thank you, devil, for making me a universal phenomenon. But the time you eating on us is over. Time for you to continue to catch a paycheck on us is done. Because you're taking our talent and selling our talent back to us. Well, we control the talent. We write the lyrics. We make the beats. We record the music. Why should anyone else get paid? I implore all of those who are of the conscious community to understand that we control the narrative now. That they want to hate me, but the devil made God famous. Thank you, devil. I appreciate you for taking me all around the world. And I'm here now to assume my place amongst the affairs of men. And I need my check. So that's the mentality. That's the science that we're moving on. It's not a bad thing you exploited us. You made us famous. Now it's time to get our check, Muslims. It's time to get our check, Moorish Americans. It's time to get our check, not just with the music. You're talking about you want reparations. We got the money is here. We just got to control it. We are the athletes. We are the artists. We everything that we want. All we got to do is just stand up and take what's rightfully ours. That's the story, brother.
Islam, brother. I'm glad you said that. One thing that you said earlier too, you were just speaking on how around $2 trillion or over $2 trillion comes through our community. You know, that we generate that much money every year. And it's funny that you mentioned that. I made an article years ago on this MoorishAmerica.com website. And this article, it's got sources, all the sources at the bottom of the article. But basically, it's just showing how over $2.2 trillion is generated by our people. If we considered ourselves a nation, right, we'd be the 10th largest in the world. And you got to, when you look at if you actually go and look at that article, you'll see that they're including the European Union in there, right? And that's a conglomeration of several nations. So we're up there. We're doing, we have everything that we need right here and now, and to get it done. And we don't even need anyone else to do anything for us. Not to say that nothing's owed to us, just saying that we have everything that we need. So there's really no excuse either for the Moors to be hesitant. Go ahead and get out there and support, get behind the brother, because it's somebody who's actually coming with the heat, and they representing the prophet. They putting the prophet out front, and I appreciate that. I'm definitely with it. I'm saying everybody go to the video description, share this video, go to the video description, get the stream or the physical copy, and let everybody know, because it's some heat, and definitely it needs to get out there. And I'm feeling you on that. We're the only ones that's gonna do it. At the end of the day.
Absolutely. Again, I can just only echo what the Moor just said. Please go Google Nelson E.L. or Drew Ali, American Prophet by Nelson L. And you can download it from your favorite downloading sites, whether that's iTunes, Tidal, wherever you get your music. If you want a hard copy, which I say get the hard copy, make sure you go to moorishamericanart.com, order your hard copy. Now, the hard copy, reason why I say get the hard copy is the last piece of physical media, something that you can get autographed, something that you can put up, something that you can, that's tangible. If you wanted to pass it down to your children, you can. You can't pass the download down, or pass that download, or get an autograph on the download, so to speak. And I'm telling you, this is history. This is monumental. It's Moorish American history. It's the first time, to my knowledge, that somebody has put out a project, 21 tracks, 100% Moorish American, Moorish science, uplifting the prophet from the prayer and praise and honors all the way down to the warning, which is the last song, the way the songs are arranged, the way the project is opened, the way it's closed. And I also did want to make a small comment in regard to the album cover. I appreciate you giving us some honors on that. There's a lot of signs and symbols in that album cover. Not only are we with the proper headdress and our proper person, but those two flags that you see on that album cover are not strangers. Those two flags have been together in the same room before. And that's the reason why I say we're coming full circle now. For those that know or those that may not know, Morocco was the first nation to recognize America as a nation. And that's why the United States of America gives Morocco honor. In order to constitute a nation, you have to have at least these three things. I know there's more things that are involved, but one, you have to have a flag. Two, you have to have land. And three, in order to be a nation, you have to be recognized by another nation. You cannot just say, I'm going to be a nation. It has to be recognized by another nation. And Morocco was the first nation to recognize the United States of America as a nation. And so we're putting those two flags side by side to let the people know it's come full circle and we're here now.
Right. Islam, that's powerful. And I'm glad you shared that and are willing to educate the people. Even for a lot of people listening to the album, believe it or not, that's the first time for a lot of people to even hear the Moorish American prayer. Even for some of us who are starting to realize that we're Moors, right? So there's an awakening process that everyone must go through. And I think definitely if you have any inkling within you that's telling you that this is your line of descent, you definitely need to study the prophet. All right. Definitely look up the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, see if you can find a temple near you, get the Holy Quran and the Moorish Science Temple of American Divine Constitution and Bylaws and the Quran questionnaire. But once again, just going back into this, I appreciate you, brother. Before we close out, though, for the evening, I just want to open the floor to anything else that you would like to say, that you would just like to get out there to the people. I yield the floor, brother.
Just real quick, I just want to thank everybody for the support that we've been getting. We're in a season of transition. A lot of people understand that the paradigm is shifting. So we're elevating in consciousness and spirituality. As we're elevating, we just ask that, you hold positive thoughts for us in this mission. We here now, we're not going nowhere. You can continue to expect for us to produce and release great Moorish American music. Pick up Juali American Prophet if you haven't heard it already, and then do a little bit of research, and you'll see I got some other projects. I will say this though, just because it dropped into my spirit right now. I got a mixtape out that came out right before this called Black Jesus. And as Moors, we don't do that black demonstration. But what I did was I took it and I flipped it. I said, shoot, they want to put it. Everybody has their own definition. If I walked in a room and I said, what does black mean? Somebody gonna say black is beautiful. Another person gonna say blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Another person gonna say black according to science means death. Another person gonna say, black power, whatever. And so we're all over the place. Nobody's united on a definition. Nobody, and that's part of our problem. All this, black stuff. So I said to myself, I'm going to make a project called Black Jesus. One for unconscious who just say I'm black and da 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 da. Maybe you'll identify with it and listen. But I spelled it BLAKC, and that is an acronym, and that stands for Bringing Love in Kinetic Consciousness. Bringing love and kinetic consciousness. Kinetic means in motion. Kinetic, there's only two energies in the universe. One is kinetic and one is potential. Potential energy is something that is not in motion, something that's doing nothing. It has potential, but it's not doing anything. Kinetic energy is energy in motion. So the project is Black Jesus, bringing love and kinetic energy to the table, right? My thoughts are racing. But when we think about that, that's really what all of the prophets are demonstrating. They're bringing that to the table. They're talking about universal laws. They're talking about energy. They're talking about things that are not going to change. So BLAKC, that's what that stands for. And just making sure that everybody has an understanding. Go get that too. It's out there. That's on YouTube. You can listen to that whole project for free. But we are asking that you support us and download it. I'd love to keep giving away music. But unfortunately, if we're going to make this our career, it has to be, servant is worthy of his hire. And I don't feel like no other servant is going to give you their heart and soul. I put everything into this project. Time, energy, blood, sweat, tears, all that good stuff. It took quite a while to produce 21 tracks. Was working on this project for over 2 years before it came out. So it's definitely a labor of love. And I want all the Moorish Americans and well-wishers, sympathizers, and those who just love good work. You person that loves good work, when it comes to that studio, come to getting in the studio and putting together some music, then I know you're going to love this project.
Right. Islam, brother. And thank you for coming on. As we close out, I just want to run back through this real quick where people can get your music. And if you don't mind, I'd like to run those 3 clips back just for anyone who came in late so they can see that. But yeah, so real quick, if you go into the description, the link is there where you could get all of the streams. They're all on this one page. It looks like Apple, Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, everything on there. And then also you can go grab a physical copy, and the link's in there. It says MoorishAmericanArt.com, and you just go to the shop. The link's in the description where you could get the CD. All right. So definitely, I suggest getting the physical copy, but you can get the stream and everything, but definitely support, regardless of whether you get that physical or the stream. All the Moors need to be bumping this. You need to be letting folks know. All right. Because like all the Moors, this for real, you have a bunch of anthems on here that all the Moors need to be playing. So I'm definitely getting behind that. I'm showing support. And I want to also play some of those video clips too. For anybody that came in here late, I appreciate you more. Thank you for coming on, and thanks for putting in the work. Honors to you, brother.
Islam, I can't wait till you have us back on here. Maybe you'll let us come back and world premiere one of our videos, and we'll drop something live on the air for the viewers on the platform. We'll do something real special.
Definitely, we're gonna have to do that. So Moorish, check this out, and then make sure you go and subscribe to this brother on YouTube as well.
Yeah. All praise due to Allah, and honors to the last prophet in these days and times. That's true Ali, that's true Ali. 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 It ain't no question where these lessons are coming from. In North Max, I'm still flexing, dancing to the drums. They going dumb like, bruh, we ain't think you come from out of heaven, throw up the 7, sliding through the slums. Go 101 with my new air time. It's so divine, I put my life on the line. Allah made me so I'm built for the grind. New air time. The truth defined, the 7 chakra in line. I feel we finally coming out of a bind. New air time. A mastermind, take you up on the climb. You know the signs, see the symbols and signs. New air time. It's all sublime, put it all in my rhymes. And if you seeking, then I know you gon' find. New air time. It's so divine, I put my life on the line. Allah made me so I'm built for the grind. New air time. The truth defined, the 7 chakra in line. I feel we finally coming out of a bind. New air time. Yeah, they say they want this more science, so I'ma give it to them. Islamism, no illusions when I'm interviewing. Know what I'm doing, no confusion, I ain't into cooning. I'm in the moving units, out here starting revolutions. In love with shooters, making masterminds out the goonies. I got them booming out here, zooming on the plane of soul. I tell them take me to the grove, they like Islam mode. I'm letting them know this not a show, this all systems go. It's 2 cells, 1 man, both high and low. I'm so spiritual, the indigos feel the vibe. I'm so lyrical, a miracle that I survive. Extend my 5 to the 4, I can see him coming. Plus my angel got the angle with the engine running. It's all justice, freedom, peace, truth, and love.
All right, Islam Moors, we're gonna go ahead and close out. I appreciate y'all brothers for coming on here. Y'all make sure you go and check out the music. The info's in the description. And on that note, well, real quick, we just want to ask that you all subscribe and make sure you check out the website, moorishamerican.com. And on that note, peace and love. Everybody click like and share.